close your eyes for a moment and let the gentle breeze from the Mediterranean carry you back, softly, ever so softly, to the ancient shores where the story of Lebanon first began to whisper its eternal song. Imagine the dawn light touching the snow-capped peaks of Mount Lebanon, those timeless guardians draped in eternal cedar forests, their branches swaying like wise old sages, murmuring secrets to the wind. Here, in this narrow crescent of land cradled between sea and mountain, humanity first learned to dream in cities of stone. Long before names were given to nations, this was the cradle of the Canaanites, gentle traders and tillers of the earth who built the world's oldest continually inhabited towns. Byblos, Sidon, Tyre, names that still shimmer like pearls on the lips of time. In Byblos, as far back as 7,000 years before the Common Era, fishermen cast their nets and merchants bartered under the shade of fig trees, while priests offered incense to gods whose echoes linger in the ruins today. Feel the warmth of the sun on purple-dyed cloth, for it was here that the Phoenicians, those luminous seafaring souls the Greeks so aptly called purple people, wove the first threads of global connection. From the harbors of Tyre and Sidon, cedar-scented ships slipped into the azure like graceful swans, carrying the gift of the alphabet to distant shores. 22 simple signs, born in the quiet workshops of Byblos, that would one day allow the world to speak in written words. Cadmus, Prince of Tyre, sails westward in legend, seeking his sister Europa, and plants the seeds of letters in Greek soil. Hiram, wise king of Tyre, sends cedar beams and skilled artisans to help Solomon raise his temple in Jerusalem, binding nations in friendship across the waves. Breathe in the scent of frankincense rising from ancient altars as empires come and go like seasons. The Assyrians march with thunder, the Babylonians with sorrow, the Persians with tolerance, each leaving a layer of memory in the soil. Then Alexander the Great, young and golden, stands before the island city of Tyre, builds his causeway of dreams across the sea, and opens the gates to Hellenistic light. Roman legions follow, carving roads that still wind through the Bekaa Valley, raising temples at Baalbek, where colossal stones whisper of human devotion. 6 pillars of the temple of Jupiter that have watched 2 millennia pass like fleeting clouds. In the shadow of those mighty columns, Christianity takes tender root. Saint Maron, the gentle hermit of the 4th century, draws followers to the holy silence of the mountains, and from his quiet prayer is born the Maronite Church, a flame that will never be extinguished. Byzantine mosaics glow in forgotten churches, and the Arabic tongue begins to sing its poetry across the land as the followers of the prophet arrive, not as conquerors of hearts, but as bearers of a new covenant. Crusaders come with crosses of iron, leaving castles like fragile lace upon the hills. Crack des Chevaliers, Beaufort, Sidon's sea castle, while Saladin's kindness restores balance. Mamluks and Ottomans follow, 4 centuries of measured rule, until the mountains themselves seem to breathe the name of freedom. And in those mountains, under the rule of princes like the gentle and visionary Fakhr al-Din II al-Mani, a dream of unity begins to stir. In the early 1600s, this Druze emir opens his courts to Maronites, Sunnis, Shia, and Christians alike, planting olive groves and silk farms, building palaces of harmony where music and poetry flow like mountain springs. His tragic end at Ottoman hands only deepens the longing for a land where all may live beneath the same cedar sky. Softly now, the 19th century dawns with silk and sorrow. Mount Lebanon prospers on mulberry leaves and French markets, but tensions between Druze and Maronite communities flare in 1860, a brief and heartbreaking storm. European powers intervene with compassion, and from that pain is born the Mutasarrifate, a small autonomous haven under Ottoman protection where confessional balance first learns to walk. Beirut awakens as a pearl of culture, its American and French universities kindling minds that will one day shape the Arab Renaissance. Buttress al-Bustani dreaming of unity. Young poets composing verses beneath jasmine-scented balconies. World War I brings famine and silence to the cedar groves. But from the ashes of empire rises greater Lebanon. On the 1st of September 1920, General Garad proclaims the new state from the pine-shaded porch of the residence des Pins, stretching from the sea to the Anta-Lebanon mountains, embracing Sunnis, Shia, Druze, and all the mosaic of faiths. Independence whispers closer. In 1943, in the quiet dignity of Bishar and Dimin, Bechara el-Khoury and Riyad al-Sal craft the national pact beneath the cedars, an unwritten covenant of gentle compromise. The president Maronite, the prime minister Sunni, the speaker Shia, parliament shared like bread at a family table, and oh, the golden years that follow. The 1950s and 1960s, when Beirut becomes the Paris of the East, a city of light and music where Faraz's voice rises like dawn over the Corniche. Cafes hum with philosophers and poets, banks flourish like gardens, airlines connect the world, and the mountains bloom with ski resorts and summer festivals at Baalbek, where the Roman temples once again host the greatest voices of the age. Zayed Rabbani composes laughter and longing. The Rabbani brothers weave folklore into symphonies, and young people dance the dabk under starlit skies, believing that this delicate balance of confessions, this merchant republic of tolerance, will endure forever. Yet even in serenity, shadows gather. The Palestinian cause, noble and wounded, finds refuge in the South after 1948 and again after Black September. Camps grow, Fedayeen train, and the delicate equilibrium tilts. In 1975, a spark in Ain el Remine ignites the inferno. What begins as a clash spirals into 15 years of sorrow, the Lebanese Civil War, a tragedy spoken of in whispers, for no heart can bear its full weight aloud. Softly, softly, let the names pass like falling leaves. Phalangists, Amal, Palestinians, progressive socialists, Lebanese forces, tigers, guardians of the cedars. Alliances shift like desert sands. Beirut is divided by the Green Line, a scar of sandbags and sorrow. Sabra and Shatila weep blood in 1982 as Israeli forces enter to root out PLO fighters after the assassination of Bashir Gemil, the young president-elect whose smile promised hope. Syrian troops enter first as peacekeepers, then remain. Mountains echo with artillery, villages empty, and 1 million souls flee across the seas. Yet even in darkness, light persists. In 1989, beneath the ancient oaks of Taif in Saudi Arabia, Lebanese parliamentarians gather in exhaustion and prayer. The Taif Agreement, gentle as a mother's hand, rebalances power parity between Christians and Muslims. In Parliament, greater voice for the Prime Minister, a promise that Syrian troops will redeploy and eventually withdraw. Renee Mowad is elected president, only to be taken by a car bomb after 17 days. Elias Rawi follows, and slowly, agonizingly slowly, the guns fall silent. In October 1990, Mitchell Aoun's dream of total liberation ends in exile, and the militias begin to lay down arms, all but one. The 1990s dawn with Reconstruction's tender hope. Rafik Hariri, the gentle giant of Sidon, returns from Saudi Arabia with vision and wealth. Solidaire rebuilds downtown Beirut into a dream of marble and light. Highways thread the mountains. The airport gleams anew. The cedar flag flies high again, and for a moment, the nation breathes. But wounds do not heal so easily. Syrian oversight lingers like a protective yet heavy shadow. Hezbollah, born in the crucible of Israeli occupation in the south, keeps its arms under the noble banner resistance. In 2000, Israel withdraws unilaterally to the Blue Line, and Lebanon celebrates, yet the Sheba Farms question remains a quiet thorn. In 2005, on Valentine's Day, a monstrous explosion on the Beirut seafront steals Rafik Hariri, the builder of dreams. The nation weeps as one. From Martyrs Square rises the Cedar Revolution, millions of voices, Christian and Muslim, Druze and secular, waving red and white flags in peaceful splendor. Truth, freedom, independence, they chant. And in April 2005, Syrian troops depart after 29 years, their convoys rolling north like a long-held breath released. Yet sorrow returns. In July 2006, Hezbollah captures 2 Israeli soldiers hopping for exchange. Israel responds with thunder. For 34 days, the sky rains fire. Kana weeps again, bridges fall, the south burns, over 1,000 Lebanese lives ascend like incense, and Hezbollah rockets reach Haifa. UN Resolution 1701 brings fragile quiet, blue-helmeted peacekeepers stand watch, but the scars remain. The years that follow are a slow unraveling. Political paralysis, assassinations, Pierre Gemil, George Howie, Samir Kassir, Jebrin Tooney, silence brave voices. In 2008, brief clashes in Beirut remind all of the cost of division. Hezbollah's arms remain, a state within the state, while the economy falters under debt and corruption. Then, in October 2019, a whisper becomes a roar. From Tripoli to Tyre, From Beirut squares to the smallest mountain village, the people rise as one. Cullen Yani Cullen, all of them means all of them. Young and old, women in the forefront, chanting for dignity, for an end to sectarian theft, for bread and light and medicine. The revolution of tenderness, of laughter amid tears, of linked arms across ancient divides. But the old order clings. Governments fall and rise like autumn leaves. The currency crumbles, savings vanish, hospitals run out of medicine, and darkness falls nightly as electricity fails. Then, on the 4th of August 2020, at 6:07 in the evening, the sky itself seems to shatter. 2,750 tons of neglected ammonium nitrate ignite in the port, a mushroom cloud of grief rising over Beirut. Over 200 souls ascend, thousands wounded, 300,000 homes lost. The heart of the city broken open like a pomegranate. The world watches in stunned silence as the wounded capital bandages itself with courage. And still the people rise. From the rubble come songs, murals, hands reaching to help. Yet justice is delayed. Investigations stalled by those who fear the light. The years 2023 and 2024 bring war's cruel return. After October 7, solidarity with Gaza draws Hezbollah into daily exchanges across the border. Then, in September 2024, escalation. Israeli ground forces enter the south. Airstrikes reach Beirut, over 1 million displaced, villages erased, ancient olive groves burned. Hezbollah, once mighty, loses its charismatic leader Hassan Nasrallah and thousands of fighters. A ceasefire in November 2024 brings fragile hush. Yet Israeli forces linger at 5 points. Strikes continue. Reconstruction barely begins. And now, in this gentle November of 2025, a new dawn whispers. After 2 years without a president, Parliament elects General Joseph Aoun, the quiet commander who held the army together through every storm. Nawaf Salam, the wise jurist who once presided over the International Court of Justice, forms a government of hope. For the first time in decades, the state dares to dream of monopoly on arms. Hezbollah, wounded yet proud, negotiates its integration. The Lebanese armed forces deploy southward, supported by UNIFIL. As the nation yearns to heal, the economy remains a heavy burden. Poverty touches half the people, the lira a shadow of itself. But the fall of old patrons in Damascus, the weakening of distant influences, and the quiet determination of a weary yet unbreakable people open windows to light. Gulf friends speak of aid if reform walks hand in hand with sovereignty. Young Lebanese abroad dream of return. In the mountains, cedar saplings are planted where bombs fell. Faraz's voice still rises on the wind. My love, the night is long, but dawn will come. Lebanon, resilient phoenix, eternal mosaic of faiths and dreams, whispers still. From the ancient alphabet to the cries for justice today, from the purple sails of Phoenicia to the red and white flags of hope, this land has known every sorrow and yet chooses again and again the path of life. May the cedars keep their ancient vigil. May the sea continue its lullaby. May the children of this wounded, beautiful land one day know only peace. SHHH, listen, the mountains are singing.